Look at a kiss long enough and it stops being a kiss. The mouth is the part that performs. The hands are the part that tells the truth. 8 famous kisses. 600 years. And almost none of them are about love. Here's the harder half. It isn't only the kiss that lies. It's the painting. Somebody paid for every one of these. A count. A queen. A banker buying his way out of hell. Not one of them was painted because someone was in love. We're going to walk it backwards. Gold. 2 figures folded into it, kneeling in a field of flowers. This is the picture the world agreed to call love. It's on the mugs, the scarves, the wall of every student flat in Europe. Now look at her hand. The one lying over his. The fingers aren't relaxed. They're bent back, gripping. And look down. The flowers stop. Her toes curl over the edge of them. They aren't kneeling in a meadow. They're kneeling at the end of one. The gold isn't decoration. It's inheritance. Klimt's father engraved gold for a living. So did his brother Ernst. Both had been dead about 10 years when this canvas was begun. In 1903, and again in 1904, Klimt went to Ravenna and stood inside the 6th century mosaics of San Vitale, where gold doesn't sit behind the figures. It is the wall. He came home certain that gold could hold a picture up on its own, without describing anything at all. So he took his dead father's trade and made the most expensive surface in modern painting. In 1908, he hung it at the Kunstschau in Vienna. The ministry bought it off the wall for 25,000 crowns. A record. And here's what the state didn't get for its money: a name. Klimt never said who these people are. Not his companion, not a client, not himself. The robes swallow every feature that would tell you. The most reproduced kiss in history, and nobody is in it. "10 years earlier, and something has gone wrong with the faces. They are still there. 2 heads, tilted together, in a dark room. But where the features should be, there's a single soft mass. This isn't a kiss badly painted. Munch could paint a face. He painted this one away on purpose. No eyes. No mouth. Nothing left to recognize. He'd been circling the motif since 1888. This version comes out of one he painted in the winter of 1891, while he was in Nice, on the Mediterranean, in the sun. The bleakest embrace in northern art was worked out on the French Riviera. Look left. There's a window, a sliver of daylight, a street with something going on in it. The world is out there being lively. Inside, the room has no time in it at all. Munch never married. He returned to this motif for decades, in paint and in woodcut, the way you return to a bruise. The art historian Reinhold Heller reads the fusion not as union but as threat, the loss of individuality, of your own existence and identity, with death sitting just behind it. Which is the uncomfortable part. 2 people become one, and one is fewer than 2. This isn't lovers merging. It's lovers disappearing. Ireland's favorite painting isn't a kiss. He's kissing her arm. She has her face pressed into the stone, turned away. Neither of them is looking at the other. In the most romantic image in the country, the 2 people never meet. There's a reason, and it's in a Danish ballad a friend of his translated in 1855. Hellelil loves Hildebrand, one of the men guarding her. Her father sends 7 brothers to kill him. Before he goes out to meet them, he asks her for one thing. Never say my name. He beats them, one after another, all the way down to the youngest. And there she breaks. She calls out his name to beg for her brother's life. Hildebrand stops. The boy kills him. Not the father. Not the brothers. Her mouth. On the floor by her foot there are white roses, petals crushed. In the flower language of the period, that's true love and eternal loyalty, already trodden on. George Eliot said the knight's was the face of a man to whom the kiss is a sacrament. The brother sold his sister for a church bell. And the painting itself is barely allowed to exist. It's watercolor, so the light destroys it. Ireland's favorite picture is shown 2 hours a week. This is the one that looks like pure romance. It's on every Italian postcard. He's leaning in, she's arching back. The blue silk catches the light like it's lit from inside. It isn't a love scene. It's a political poster that got past the censors. Austria ran Milan, and the crackdown on the nationalist movement had been bloody. So Hayez, close to 70 and known to every patriot in the city, hid the argument in a costume. Medieval clothes. A staircase. Nothing to arrest anyone for. Now look at what's actually in the frame. A dagger, showing under the young man's cloak. And in the archway on the left, in the dark, a figure watching. The colors of the two costumes carry the flags of Italy and France, who had just become allies. A count commissioned it. 3 months before it was shown, the King of Sardinia and Napoleon III had ridden into Milan in triumph. Then the alliance soured. France called the war off before Italy got the Veneto back, and the patriots felt sold. So Hayez painted it again, and changed her dress from blue to white. The blue was France. He took France out. He repainted a kiss to end a friendship between countries. Nobody in this picture is saying goodbye to anybody. They're saying it to Vienna. Watch the book. It's slipping out of her fingers, bottom left, and she isn't going to catch it. That book is the whole crime. Paolo and Francesca were reading together, a story about Lancelot, about a knight who kisses a queen. They got to the kiss. And Dante's line, dry as a court record, that day they read no further. She was married to his brother. Giotto, lame, disfigured, and about to come through that curtain on the right, where you can already see him in the dark with the blade. He kills them both. Dante finds them in the second circle, blown around forever on a wind that never drops, still together, which is the punishment. Ingres couldn't leave it alone. He painted this scene 7 times over 36 years. And here's who paid for the first one. Caroline Murat, Queen of Naples, sister of Napoleon. She commissioned it in 1814, along with the Grande Odalisque. Within a year the empire was gone, Naples had collapsed, and her husband was shot by firing squad. Ingres was never paid. A painting about 2 people destroyed by a moment of appetite, ordered by a woman destroyed by a decade of it, and it left the painter out of pocket. We should start with a problem. Fragonard may not have painted this. The name is attached because an engraving from 1788 said so. But the handling looks more like Marguerite Gerard, his wife's sister, who became his relation at 8 and moved into his house at 14. The most famous stolen kiss in French painting may have been stolen twice. Everything here is about getting caught. She's been pulled aside at a door. Her shawl is still stretched back into the room she just left, and through the far doorway there's a whole party carrying on. She isn't looking at him. She's looking at the exit. And this wasn't a private thought. That 1788 engraving was advertised as the companion piece to another painting, The Bolt, in which a man is sliding a door bolt shut. 2 pictures, sold as a pair. The kiss and what the kiss is for. Fragonard painted more than 500 works and dated almost none of them, which is how a career vanishes. Within 2 years of this, the revolution took his clients. Guillotined or fled. In 1790 he left Paris. Then the picture went traveling. It was bought by the last king of Poland, hung in his palace in Warsaw, and swallowed by the Russian Empire along with the palace and the country. A painting about a stolen moment, stolen by 3 governments in a row. The most efficient kiss ever painted. Judas has him. Not gently. The hand grips the shoulder and holds him in place while the mouth does the identifying. Behind them the armor is already moving in, black and polished, and it takes up more of the picture than either man. Look at the 3 hands. Judas holding on. Christ's own, fingers laced, low in the frame, already given up. And on the right, a man raising a lantern. The lantern lights nothing. The gallery will tell you so. The scene is lit by the moon. The man who brought the light is useless, and he is looking anyway. Ciriaco Mattei paid 125 scudi for it. The paint has thinned with age, and now you can see Caravaggio changing his mind underneath. The corrections show through. Pentimenti. Then it went missing. Sold out of the family, misfiled as a copy by a Dutch follower, an error that started inside the house that commissioned it. In 1921, it went through an auction room in Edinburgh for 8 guineas. A woman called Marie Lee Wilson bought it cheap in Scotland. Her husband, a police officer, had been shot dead in the street in County Wexford in 1920. She never remarried, trained as a doctor, and in the 30s gave the painting away to a Jesuit priest who had kept her company afterwards. The widow of a man who was taken, buying a painting of a man being taken. It hung in their dining room in Dublin for 60 years, opposite the fireplace, while priests ate under it. The most violent kiss in art spent 6 decades as furniture. "600 years back, and everything is different. The couple is old. The paint is on a wall. And this one, alone in the whole video, is not a lie." Joachim and Anne have been told they'll have a child after a lifetime without one. They meet at the gate and they kiss, and their halos overlap where the faces do. In the reading of the time, that's the moment. No bedroom, no night. The kiss is the conception. Now look at what's behind them, because it's the point. Byzantine painters put gold behind their figures. Giotto put sky. He kept gold for the halos and threw the rest out, and he did not do it to save money. That blue is lapis lazuli, ground from stone carried by ship from what is now Afghanistan. It cost more than gold. He didn't replace the expensive thing with a cheap one. He replaced it with a more expensive one. And here's who bought it. Enrico Scrivani, a Paduan moneylender. His father Reginaldo lent at interest too, and Dante put him in hell with the usurers, by name, in the 17th canto. Enrico built this chapel next to his palace. In the Last Judgment on the end wall, he had Giotto paint a damned usurer. He put his own father in hell, on his own wall, and then filled the room with the most expensive blue in Europe. The only honest kiss in 600 years of painting was paid for with interest. 8 kisses. 600 years. A count, a queen, a banker, a widow. The mouth is the part that performs. It's been performing since 1305. Klimt covered his lovers in gold and told you it was love. Giotto refused gold and bought something dearer, so a usurer could buy his way out of the fire. Nobody here was painting a kiss. They were all buying something with one. So, of the 8, is there a single real kiss in this room? Or is the closest thing to it the one that never reaches a mouth at all, on a staircase, in Dublin, 2 hours a week? Tell me which one you defend.